Good morning and welcome to Darold Miller Live here on the ZNS radio and television networks. And we are streaming to the world at www.znsbahamas.com. Let us pray. O God, our Heavenly Father, hallowed be thy name. We come humbly before your throne of grace and mercy this morning, the way we do every morning and every night. We come to thank you for keeping us safe overnight, for protecting us, and for awakening us this morning. We come to thank you for the rain, for the sunshine, for these beautiful islands, so filled with natural resources, they have become the envy of the world. Oh God, we pray that you would continue to shower us with your blessings, particularly vision, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, so that we can deal with the many, many challenges that confront us. Today, as we conduct this show, undergird us with wise tongues for our discussion. Direct our speech. Oh God, we pray that you would give us vision, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, so that we can deal with the many, many challenges that beset us. We say a special prayer this morning for those who are bereaved, who are sick, who are shut in, who are teetering on the brink of poverty. Oh God, be their comfort in this their time of need. Uplift them, empower them. We know that your word has assured us that no weapon, absolutely no weapon, formed against us shall prosper. And for that, we thank you. And oh God, as we embark upon this new chapter in our ministry on radio and television, we pray that you would bless all those who have a hand in what we are doing, those who listen and those who watch, those who switch and those who operate the microphones, those who come as our guests. Bless them all. Bless our enemies, oh God. We thank you for health and strength, life and liberty. And we worship you in the beauty of your holiness. Thank you in Jesus' name, amen. Did you have your tea this morning? Or did you have coffee? Hope you had something. Some people are fasting today. No food, just a little drink, coffee or tea, water. That is good. It's open line today here on Darold Miller Live. Whatever you want to talk about, we can do so responsibly today. We were thinking that we may have had on our show today the Honorable Algernon Allen and the Honorable Cynthia Mother Pratt of the Urban Renewal Program. I think they are going to be with us on another occasion. So it's open line today. Whatever you want to talk about, you can do so responsibly here on Darold Miller Live. We are going to open the lines early at 325-5405. Whatever you want to talk about. Seems as though something's hot with the BEC union, eh? Something's hot. Our good friend Leslie Miller may have thrown a rock. And the thing but throwing rocks, boy. Even if you ain't hit me, I might be a little upset that you throw the rock. And we note that the minister responsible for BEC, the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis, who we have extended our condolences to on the passing of his dear mother, it seems as though he has to mitigate and smooth the waters. Otherwise, we might get another island-wide blackout here in Nassau. I continue to say that the solution for all of that, it's not FP&P, no floating power station. It's what God has given us, the sun. If we can harness, not if we can, when we decide to harness the energy from the sun. Do you know the Prime Minister got solar panels on his house? You didn't know that, hey? Why can't we have it on our house? Why can't we have it in our backyards? And the same old beat-up battery that you throwing away, let the sun energy boost those batteries. It's so simple, you know. It ain't easy. It is simple. They are here. Okay, before I take a break, let me finish my thing. It is so easy to harness the energy that God has given us, particularly the sun. He gave us other forms of energy. Why can't we get it right? They're saying I must take a break. I say, well, yeah, but solar energy. Gotta take a break. This is Darold Miller Live. We'll be back right after these messages. Welcome back to Darold Miller Live here on the ZNS Radio and Television Networks. We have to digress because three outstanding gentlemen of the community are here. Maybe somebody might qualify for Mandy's Minutes coming up later. I don't know, depending on what you're doing. Reuben Ramming is here. He is the public relations spokesperson for Because He Lives Junkanoo Rush Out. Welcome to Darold Miller Live.
It's always good to be in your presence, Mr. Miller.
Also here is Antonio Lavarity. Antonio Lavarity is president of the Yellow Elder Association. Welcome to the show.
Morning.
And with us is someone I know, Colin Ingram, who is from Colin Cares Community Organization. Welcome to Darold Miller Live.
Thank you so much, sir, for having us this morning.
Let us begin with you, Antonio Lavarity. You're the president of the Yellow Elder Association, and you are doing some spring cleaning. I take it you mean Yellow Elder, also Mount Moriah.
Yes, sir. That includes of Yellow Elder, Stapleton, Millennium Gardens.
Why you need spring cleaning in that area?
Well, the purpose of this exercise is to try to unite all the persons in Yellow Elder. Through the association, we think that unity can bring forward change. We've known that Yellow Elder has had some difficulties in the past, and we're trying to come together as one unit to try to bring Yellow Elder back to what it once was, sir.
But you are not from Yellow Elder.
Yes, sir. I grew up, born, raised in Yellow Elder. I've been in Yellow Elder now for 31 years, sir.
Which street?
I live on West Dennis Court. This is the street right just
Near the
before you reach.
basketball court?
No, sir. Just the road right before you reach Government High School.
You mean where C.W. Sawyer is?
Yes, sir. That would be on the western side. C.W. Sawyer will be on the eastern side. That'll be on the western side of the highway, Yellow Elder Way. Yes, sir.
That's a rough part.
I won't say it's a rough part. It has its challenges, but it isn't as rough as people make it seem to be.
Well, that's where the lady got killed.
No, sir. That's not that area. The lady, she got killed in the front part of Yellow Elder. That's Old Cedar Street. She got killed more closer to Blue Hill Road. This would be the middle section of Yellow Elder, which is more.
Which would come around to Millennium Gardens.
Yes, sir.
There have been shootings there.
Yes, sir.
When you say spring cleaning, you mean cleaning of the minds or cleaning of the physical surroundings?
It's a collaborative effort of everything, cleaning of the mind and from the physical sense. Once we tackle those elements, everything will come together as one.
Now, the road in between that road and Government High School needs to clean.
When you say cleaning,
It's a dumping ground.
yes, sir. Well,
I right or wrong?
well, those are issues that we're addressing through the community program.
You know which road I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
That
That would be
goes straight down almost to
to
the
back
highway.
of, yes, sir. That's the
That
service
is a
road.
dumping ground.
And like I
So
said,
you're gonna get to that, or you just gonna stay in the main?
Well, this project is to tackle the more main streets of where the residents are, like Mr. Ramingham would speak on in short order. This is mainly to tackle that area. The service road that you are speaking with, we have been working with environmental health for some kind of progress, and in short order, we're gonna do some cleaning in that area.
That's a major task there.
I agree, sir.
Colin Ingram.
Yes, sir.
Are you related to Alan Ingram?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
Which Ingrams are you?
Well, you know how we go in the Bahamas, right? It's always a little mixed up. Because my father's a Bethel.
What's your connection to Yellow Elder / Mount Moriah?
Well, I'm a resident of Stapleton.
Okay.
And
You on the good side.
all is good side. I'm just on the less challenged side.
Okay. What part of Stapleton?
I live in Blenheim, which is right off McKinney. When you come off of the corner after, which is McKinney Avenue, and you take the first left, I'm right through there. So it's
Near the Lodge Hall?
right past the corner right after Lodge Hall, right in that area.
That's a good area. That's a good part.
Yes, sir. It's a good
Very
part.
quiet.
Except for the other night when the person tried to escape from the police. But yes, it's a very quiet area.
They came down the highway beside it.
And crashed in that area. Yeah, but outside of that, it's very, very quiet.
Yeah, very quiet, residential. Very little crime.
We have our challenges as well. That's why Colin Cares is working with the association there, which is headed by Mac Forbes, and the Community Crime Watch Association as well. Because in fact, I was speaking to both.
There's a Crime Watch Association in Stapleton?
Yes, sir. There's a Stapleton Crime Watch Association. We just recently met with the officers who were in charge of the Crime Watch at the Grove Police Station, but now they've just changed them, so there's a new set.
You keeping that too quiet. A Crime Watch Association in Stapleton Gardens.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
That's not been I guess you don't want to advertise it, eh?
No.
And publicize it.
Well-
but people, the residents should know. There are residents who don't know.
Well, there are residents who are involved. If you come into Stapleton on any Friday night, you would see persons on the park at McKinney, and that's the group that is the Stapleton Association, and from that spurned the Crime Watch.
Right, they have the little cookouts and
Yes,
raise a little fund.
yes, sir. Every Friday, every single Friday. It's almost like that particular part of Stapleton is like a family island, where the community comes together, and which really happens on Friday. That's potluck. Where everyone throwing a little something, and we all yes sir,
Yeah.
and you play your dominoes or whatever games there. It's a family atmosphere, and it's a wonderful thing. In fact, while I had a good fortune on this project to meet with Antonio Lavardi, him and Clint Conyers, who's the head of the Crime Watch for Yellow Elder. I invited them out last week, and we all sat out on the park and Stapleton, and he get beat up in some dominoes, but he was a guest. But that particular part is a wonderful community, and anyone who's lived on the family island would enjoy it. And that's what we're trying to foster throughout this whole community, all through Yellow Elder.
God is good. He sent you here for a reason today.
Yes.
We know that area very well. In fact, Reuben Ramming, you know that area very well. I mean, you know all areas of Nassau.
Yes.
You are a bus driver originally, and so you would have traversed all through the inner cities of New Providence. Now you're working closely with the Yellow Elder / Mount Moriah folks. What do you find in these areas?
Well, you're right, Mr. Miller. As your reputation, like the sun covers the Bahamas, me in my small way have a good coverage of New Providence, and indeed a number of the family islands. Naturally, I do a lot of work and wear a lot of hats. Many of them are not openly spoken, just like you, Mr. Miller. I know what you. People hear you on this radio, but they don't know a lot of things that you do, because you're a kind of man, I think, similar like myself. We do a lot of things, and we keep people's dignity. We don't blurt it out just to prove that Darold does something. But I know of you, because Bahamas is small, and I hear of the things that you do. And the mere fact that we hear almost impromptu with you alone shows your community spirit in that regard. And I thank you for that. And the reason why I'm thanking you for this publicly, it's not even for you, because there are a lot of persons like you, So when they hear it, they realize I'm thanking them also. Those unsung altruistic persons, and even some power brokers who give but say, keep my name off it. Just do what you have to do. Yes, but I do work throughout our communities and wear many, many hats for over 20 years of my life. You're a great historian, and so this may help you understand. From a young boy, I started working under George Mackey in Fox Hill, and that's before all this. That was the genesis of this urban renewal experience and everything else, and in that regard. And my work has been a lot with the officers. They would call me in as a community organizer. They would realize your giftedness, and throughout New Providence, wherever they need to set up a crime watch or bring a community together. There have been times when they had riots in Camp Road, they would call my team, and we'd go and we'd help settle down the community and bring some balance back to it. Bring people together, get these crime watch and other things established. There are many hats I wear, including my Covanian group and everything else. But what we're doing in Yellow Elder is a part of another organization that I work with called the Because You Live Community Rush. This was the brainchild of William Thompson. And we know you're a Junkanoo. I still remember you on top of that float with the mic. You are original. You are original.
We could go way back. My brother Philip and I rushed as youngsters with grass Junkanoo skirts on. That's probably before you were born. but the community Junkanoo thing that you're talking about, when is that?
We doing
let's put some time frame on all of these things.
Because we do a series of things. Because you just said something, so you don't just do Junkanoo. You know the spirit of Junkanoo. So people could talk the paper it. you could tell when the paper starts. You know the history of it. It is more than that. We do two things. For one, every Easter we have the first Junction Rush of the year, which is on Easter Monday. This is attached to that. But we do community initiatives ahead of that. And right now, we see the need in the Yellow Elder area, but we don't like to do one-off things, just come and go. So our role has been to accentuate the positive, to eliminate the negative, meaning we went in every community and we realized that in every community, despite the chaos, there's always goodness and strength. And thus we find these community leaders, we bring them together to say what good we can bring in this community. So now you're seeing what's going on here, led by, because he lived, but the backbone of the work is Colin Cares and the Variety and the association and the churches. And everybody's coming together now to pull this event off. So now on Saturday coming, you'll see the combination of the work coming to head. Starting at about 7 in the morning, 6:30, 7 in the morning, we'll be culminating at the Church of Christ, where we begin mobilizing our team, which will now go out with the community cleanup. Now, this is not what you think, but normally is thought, community cleanup, we're going to come in your yard and rake your yard. It's your yard. It got dirty because I wasn't there. But we're there to facilitate. So ahead of that, we would have given out flyers and bags and prepare people that this is like a spring cleaning. Those bulk items that the regular garbage trucks and stuff can't move, this is your opportunity. Get them out to the road. If your children are there, let your children help put them on the trucks that we'll provide, which the residents in Yellow Elder, Mount Moriah, and Stapleton are donating their trucks and their time. And there'll be bins set throughout the community, Mr. Miller. And so it's a community collaborative effort. The urban renewal and the police and some of the scrap metal persons will also assist with persons who have those derelict cars in the yard and want to move those. And we all know from crime statistics that those become hiding places and also traps and hazards for children. So it's a series of things. And so from 7, we want to have this basically culminated by noon, because we want you to catch yourself and come back to C.W. Sawyer at 3. That's when we're going to start the Junction Rush and Community Rush, where everybody is involved. And we're going to see Eric Scrapnose, Prodigal Sons leading the way, many other Junkaners coming in. From C.W. Sawyer, we're going to have a good rush going down to the Thornburg Park. The Urban Renewal Marching Band will also be participating as well in that event. When we arrive...
What's the route? How you get from CW
to... The C.W. Sawyer School right there on the little highway just before we reach GHS, the first school along the highway. We're taking the inner road and we're coming east back towards A.F. Adley. The park near A.F. Adley, that's the Thornburg Park. Like if we're going towards Town Center Mall on the inner road, that's the direction we're going to be rushing. When we reach that park, that is our blessed ground.
That's a short rush.
Yes, short and sweet. Blessed ground zero. It is at that time, Mr. Miller, that we're going to have the memorial service. During the last few weeks, we would have been going through the community, also touching bases with a lot of the grieving persons. Mr. Colin, Mr. Larry Variety could speak to that. And the families will be out there, and we will be able to share love and touch. We can have persons working. So
earlier you mentioned the Reverend William Thompson.
Oh, yes, powerful man, community man, and Junkanoo like you. I think he can answer those questions.
He can rush?
He's back. Not as good as the Church of God.
Let's take a quick
but he
break.
think he can.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be back with the Yellow Elder Association spring cleaning time. This is Darold Miller Live. We'll be back right after these messages. Back to Darold Miller Live here on the ZNS radio and television networks. We also streaming to the world at www.znsbahamas.com. And our assistant reminds me that you can download the ZNS app and you can watch it right on your smartphone. You can also go on our Facebook page, Darold Miller Live, and watch the show there as well. And we are launching our own website, DaroldMillerLive.com. And so lots of different options as to how you can keep up to date with the great work that's being done here at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas. Of course, all of this is kind of headed by our chairman, the Reverend Dr. William Thompson. the chairman executive of the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, and it's such a pleasure to have you here, sir. But you're not here to talk about ZNS.
Not today.
Such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
You are also very influential in the Baptist community. You've been re-elected, elected again for the Baptist Convention. And so we know you're doing great works in that area as well. But you're here to talk about what these gentlemen have been talking about. Reuben Ramming, Antonio Lavarity, and also Colin Ingram. And all of this, I understand, is spurred by this group or organization because he lives Community Rush.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Thank you, Darold. Look, because he lives, Community Rush started some 8 years ago. A gentleman by the name of Terrence McSweeney, Red Eye, some people call him Red Eye. We were one day at Junction on Bay Street, and we saw the amount of many church folk who were involved in Junction, those who really wanted to be involved, but just didn't want to get in all that gyration that's out there. So we thought to look at having a jungle group during Easter time, where all the jungleners come together as one. There's no Saxon, no Valley. They all come together as one. And this group then would have the praise dancers from the church out front, the praise teams from the church, and it's just a wonderful experience. And we started, and it's growing every year. It just keep on growing. Now, what we have done along the way, because it's a community. When we first met, Minister Bannister was then the Minister of Youth, who was in charge of culture. And we sat down with him and we sought to find a way to reach the communities through this grouping, because no one has been able to bring the Junkanouers together as one, because the rivalry that they have. Mm-hmm. But this grouping has been able to bring the Saxons, the Valley, one family, Roots, all the big groups, all together as one on Easter Monday morning at 4 o'clock, and we parade on Wolf Road. Remember years ago, Oscar Johnson went to the House of Assembly and said, listen, why don't we bring the parade to where the people are on Wolf Road? Mm-hmm. But it never happened. So we took it on Wolf Road. And Darold, I can say to you, if you get up early on Easter Monday morning, you will see a tremendous move.
This is after Easter Sunday?
Yeah, after Easter Sunday. We started with a wonderful prayer meeting, about 3:30 prayer meeting, right on Windsor Park, and then we move into the parade, and then the parade is has been a wonderful success. But today, what we're talking about more today is offshoot of that parade. Mm-hmm. Where we get in the communities and help in the community. Not only do we go in the community, but we also have a committee that's working on scholarships for underprivileged children who want to go to one of the high schools, Prince William, St. Augustine, St. John's. If they could, they go, they sign up for the scholarship, and when we have a selection committee who picks who will be, and then we support them through school. In the communities, we go along with men like Mr. Ingram and the other young gentlemen here in the community and get the community focused on their own community. What makes Yellow Elder so important to us at this period is what's going on in Yellow Elder at this time.
Yes.
On one street in Yellow Elder, you had 5 murders. Yes. On one street. So we saw that we go in there and bring some hope to the people, lift them by making the community, the area clean around them, making them feel as if they are important. Rather than looking at the sun, when the sun go down, they try to get in. We want them to, this is your community. You take it back. And you will take it back to when people see you involved in it. And I want to give Mr. Ingram and his team a wonderful shout out for the work they do along with us to get down in there. Now, on tomorrow morning, we'll have a walkabout at 8 o'clock in the morning. The urban renewal leaders will be there, the police will be there, and the leaders from around. The area representative called me from New York last night and said no way she can get back for tomorrow morning, so I must say that to everyone. But everyone else would be on that march, going through the community, that walkabout, speaking to the people, giving them hope, And then after that's done, we go and we start to do some cleanup where we have the different cleaning agencies in the country has given us their bins. They'll give us their trucks to pull it to the dump. So it's a massive effort. The churches in the community will come together tomorrow evening. That's what the climax is tomorrow evening. Tomorrow evening is a big climax down in Yellow Elder where we'll have a memorial service for those persons who would have been who have lost their life and for their families. And they will come together in this memorial service. And the churches in the community, the Baptists, the Anglicans, and all the other denominations, they coming together at that memorial service to bring hope, to bring some enlightenment to the people, to show them that the country is concerned about them. That's what this organization is all about.
You're crystallizing our discussion now.
Yes.
You're bringing it into its true focus. Because he lives is not just about a community rush. It's about a renaissance for the various communities that you touch. That is indeed wonderful. Do you think people just sit back and watch you, or do they get involved in what you're doing?
Well, every year more and more people get involved. But this year, it's been a tremendous outflowing of the people involved. Not only people in Yellow Elder. I think on yesterday, another lady called that she would be bringing something to help with the feeding of the people. And she doesn't live in that area because everyone have now gotten the idea that this is a community effort and the community is only as good as all of us together. No matter where you live, if one community is bad, it's the message goes out to the other communities. So we're trying to bring all our community. And when you mentioned the good areas and things, that's why I'm happy that Brother Ingram brought you on to let you know that we see them all as good. It gets them a challenge. And so we're there to try to help the challenge.
But you did say on one street there were 4 murders.
Yes.
Are you going to be paying particular attention to that street, whatever street it is?
Yes. We have been paying attention all along in this process, but the focus will be coming there, and the police will be there in good numbers. Brother Cunningham, who leads the New Providence, he will be there with his force, and with Lisa Moxley, who's head of the Grove Station. She will be there with her team. It's going to be a wonderful experience. The people will be talking, not talking down to. We'll be talking and listening to them. And ZNS will be there, along with other the press, will be there to show the country what is being done tomorrow.
This helps the urban renewal program, doesn't it?
Yes. Brother Algernon Allen will be there tomorrow. By you mentioned that he will be there. Promised me faithfully that he'll be. Matter of fact, last year he was with us in Camp Road and in Fox Hill. Him and both Mother Pratt.
So, because he lives, moves around.
Yes.
Ain't got nothing to do with crucifixion and resurrection.
Oh yes, yes, sir. This is the genesis. The genesis of it is to draw attention to something great happened during this time. Something great happened for Christendom, for the world at this time. Christ was crucified, but on this wonderful day, God called him back from the dead. And therefore today, we as Christians around the world can testify to the fact that he is interceding for us, even at this moment, even for Yellow Elder at this time. And that's what it's all about. It's not only about the rush. It's about sensitizing people to their place in life and who has caused this to happen for them. If Christ had died and stayed dead, Christianity would have been dead. Praise God. Early that Sunday morning.
Now, you know I got to take a little latitude and ask you a few more questions. And now that you've crystallized all of this, and you're going to stay to add some more finer details, but while the executive chairman of the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas is here, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I got to ask you some questions, sir. Is there more that ZNS can do to help develop this country?
I think right now, Darren, ZNS is in the process of doing more, even as we speak, to be more proactive in the development of this country. We carry the news, we try to carry whatever, we keep trying to carry, but now we have to move to another level. And I'm sure that the manager, Diane Swan, and people are putting in place efforts to move to another level, like our social club. You know, things where we get, a matter of fact, last year didn't crystallize, but I hope it crystallized this year. We were supposed to go in the community right down here and paint house, clean houses, and make people's life much better. We want to be a part of the community, and that's one of the things this chairman believes in. And so, and I know my general manager, she also believes in making things better for the people, because if the people are better, the country is better, and that could play a role in that. Remember what our metric is. We have to inform, educate, and lift people.
And we are working closely with other government or quasi-government institutions and private institutions, BTC, for example, to have a greater reach throughout the entire country.
I don't want to. This is not for the BTC thing, but you could call us back, and because there's wonderful things happening between ZNS and BTC at this time, but this is not the time for it. Okay. You can call us back and we can speak to that.
There is also this feeling, and coming back to this whole thing of helping our communities. There's also this feeling that we don't do enough to return to the communities from whence we came. Now, I know you from baseball very well. Do you go back to your homestead?
Unfortunately, not as often as I should, because, you know, we grew up in what we call the Deep Valley, Claridge Road area, and we have seen the renaissance in that area coming too. But what we tried to do, most of us the majority of us in this country came from the Mason Addition, that area there, because when we came from the islands, you land on the wharf out there and you walk down to Mason Addition, that area there. And we all move on. But unfortunately, if we drive through these areas today, when I see people like Brother Ingram and them who stay in the area, although he moved over on the other side, but he's still in that area. Okay? But when we see people who stay in that area where they came from, it says something. It says there's a love for the area. I love Claridge Road. And anything I can do to help Claridge Road move forward, I will do that. And I'm sure that's the feeling of...
What part of Claridge Road? That's the area where Goofy Brown used
to
be?
That's right. Next door.
Yeah.
Next door. And then, you know, Ruben's love for Fox Hill.
Right.
Okay, so we are not abandoning these areas. We want to bring them to the same level where we are. Now, if you ask a question, if we moved too swiftly when this new renaissance came, I think we did. I think we did.
Well, I mean, that's why did you move? But you didn't move far. But you moved because you were seeking a better life.
Well, to be quite honest, you know, we all look for a better quality of life. But while we're doing that, we still want to be able to reach out and help persons to, even where they are, have a better quality of life. One of the things I mentioned earlier is, if you look at the area where Yellow Elder is situated, think about it. Right outside there you have the Blue Hill playing fields. So you have soccer fields, baseball, softball, volleyball, the National Sports Stadium is there. There are so many things right in the immediate environs of Yellow Elder that gives opportunity for better quality of life for the people in the area. And it is just needed now. In fact, we even have a little golf course there that is opportunity to train young persons and have for scholarships, and there are more scholarships.
When you say little golf course, are you referring to Craig Flowers' 9 holes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But the opportunities there, just in that area, I don't think people really grasp it, because it's almost like that same area we're speaking about needs to be cleaned. It's almost like there's a wall there that is separating the community from the opportunities right there. You don't need to build anything else. You just need to take advantage of what is in the community of Yellow Elder, Millennium, and Stapleton, just for a better quality of life and an ability to take those young kids and put them in the wholesome activities. All we need is the people to determine that we're going to show the kind of leadership and work together. I didn't know Antonio Lavardi before, because he lives. I didn't know Clint Conyers.
Even though
In the same area. In the same area. I didn't know them. And he's doing his work. Clint Cornish is doing his work. Navolia Johnson doing her work. You have Eric Scrapnose from the Prodigal Son doing his work, his 500 house program. You have in Stapleton, you have Mark Forbes and his team doing their work. But all of us doing our work in our little kingdoms. This has given us an opportunity to sit down together. Up to last night, we were at a meeting 10 o'clock speaking, deciding on how we're going to make sure this thing is successful. So this could be an example of and spur on other things that we can do to continue to uplift the community, and especially those young persons in the community who keep saying, nobody cares. Nobody cares. They feel so hopeless. And that's a part of the challenge, and that's what we are coming together, and we are so thankful because he lives. Because he lives, there's opportunity for us to transform the community. Because he lives, there's opportunity for us to uplift the lives of these young persons and the people in the community and make people feel comfortable to sit on the park in Yellow Elder just as they sit in the park in Stapleton. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. Transforming the lives of people, not just the environment, but their minds.
It's a good man, yes, Reverend William Thompson.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And the thing, Darold, we met him because the first time I met him was because of this, but we went in there, and this is what we want to do, and they came and truly, and this young man here, very intelligent also, and does a lot of great things down in the community there. I just want to commend the people in Yellow Elder and matter of fact, and some part of Mount Moriah, who have gotten the spirit that we have together. It is a Bahamian spirit that we must take back our country one street at a time, one community at a time. And that's what what's coming out of this great move in Yellow Elder that God has really on. He just exploded. When we started, we didn't see what we are seeing now. It just keep on moving and moving and moving and give us greater aspiration to do greater things ahead. Just before I go to break, I just want to also invite everyone out to tomorrow. Just come down and be a part of. We'll have food and drinks and everything for the children and even the grown-ups tomorrow. Just come and share. It's going to be a fun time at the 5 o'clock memorial service. After that, we'll have some chill out and everything. We'll have a wonderful time. Also, I want to invite everyone, every Junkanua, every church praise team, every church choir. The last time I rushed, the last time I rushed was doing our 50th anniversary, and the fella told me I was too stiff, don't come back.
But you ain't there. Ladies and gentlemen, this reverend was one of the best catches in the history of this country.
God's been faithful.
And first baseman.
Yes, first baseman too, yes. But here we are now still.
And if you're a catcher, you can't be stiff.
Yeah, well, yes, time with a swift feet. And we just want to invite everyone out to the rush on Easter Monday morning at 4 a.m. Come early to be a part of the prayer and praise effort, and then we get on the street, and this will be streaming all through the Caribbean and all in the lower Americas. So just come and be a part of it. Thank you.
I know you have to leave. I'm going to make a recommendation. Coming up a little later in this program, we have a segment called Mandy's Minutes. And God works in mysterious ways. I am going to recommend to Mandeline Thompson, when she comes to do her minutes, that Colin Ingram is very deserving. No disrespect, Antonio Lavardi. No disrespect, Ruben Ramming.
We agree.
I think Colin Ingram is very deserving of Mandy's minutes because of your work in the area, your passion, yet your humility. I'm going to see what she says. It's not up to me. It's up to her.
But thank you just for the recommendation.
We support it. We support that.
Okay.
We support that.
This is Darold Miller Live. We'll be back right after these messages. Welcome back to Darold Miller Live here on the ZNS Radio and Television Networks. Today's show is brought to you in part by the 17 Shop. And ladies, I can tell you that you want to check out the 17 Shop today, at least this weekend before Easter. They have all of the Easter and spring selections. Beautiful colors in all sizes. They have the Lily and Taylor. That's the unique texture, beautiful with the jacket and the skirt. They have the Terramina collection, lavender, sky, blue, teal, gold, something like what Mandy is wearing today. They have the Annabelle, and this is the time, ladies, for weddings and tea parties and birthday parties. So you want to look good, and the prices at the 17 Shop are unbelievably low. The customs duty has dropped on women's clothing, so they have passed the savings on to you. And even with the 7.5% VAT, the prices are still lower than they've ever been in the 17 Shop. You want to check them out. They have the nice fuchsia pink colors and the teals and the greens with the nude chiffon. A lot of lace, lots of new arrivals over at the 17 Shop. You know, the guys are talking about Easter Monday and Easter Sunday and Good Friday, so ladies, you got to look good. And the place to do that is at the 17 Shop. Generations of women can go together. Take your daughter, if you're a mother, take your mother. So grandmother, daughter, and granddaughter, you all can go together. Something for everyone at the 17 Shop located on Collins Avenue and 4th Terrace here in Nassau. There's also a 17 Shop in Freeport at the 17 Circle. Tell them you heard this ad on Darold Miller Live. They're also sponsors of Mandy's Minutes coming up in our last hour. Also, guys, K.S. Moses. Aha! I'm always dressed from head to toe in KS mode. Today is no exception. And they got the sale going on, not on the suits, but they got the sale on selected items, the matching shirt and tie sets. They got the bush jackets, a variety. You gotta go to KS Moses, Colin.
I'm with you, sir.
Yeah, you gotta look sharp this Easter, man.
Absolutely.
They have the nice linen suits. Take Ruben with you. Ruben like to look sharp. They got the wallets, the handkerchief, the socks, the lapels, the cufflinks. K.S. Moses, my favorite store on Collins Avenue and 5th Terrace. We are continuing for the next few minutes our talk with the spring cleaning community and fellowship events that are spurred by Because He Lives Community Rush in conjunction with the Yellow Elder Association, Alan Ingram, Colin Ingram.
Yes, sir.
Why I keep thinking you're related to Alan Ingram? Do you know Alan Ingram?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, there are two Alan Ingrams. Mm-hmm. One of them passed away. The other is one of our first American football players. Mm. Very, very distinguished. And I kind of see a little of him.
Well, I say Luther blood.
Okay.
Luther blood.
Okay. But as you move around Colin Ingram, Antonio Lavardi, and Ruben Ramming in the Yellow Elder area, bringing peace and hope and a sense of greater community, what do you find?
Well, what we find is a lot of, especially with the young persons, is really concerning. They're in pain. We went to speak to some of the families that have lost a loved one in the last year. And there was this young lady. She didn't even want to open the gate for us. She was angry. She couldn't understand what was happening because her 19-year-old brother was murdered. and she hadn't heard anything from the police. The family had no idea what was going on. Nobody was arrested. So she was just angry. And Ruben and I had to stand to the gate and try to speak to her, to cause her to just listen to us, to even have a representative out there at the memorial service. And it took us a good 20 minutes just to soften her a bit. And she was like, well, maybe we'll come. Maybe we'll come. So you find a lot of pain. And it's really disheartening sometimes when you see it and you speak to the young persons and they're saying to us, well, no one really cares about us. The politicians don't care. The church people, they in their walls. We're grappling with just trying to give people that sense of hope. And that's why we think what we're doing tomorrow is so important, because we're not just talking about cleaning up the environment. We're asking those persons to come out and get to know your neighbors. The person you are attacking is the same person you went to school with. I was listening to somebody speak last night, and they were saying some of these persons used to sleep on this floor together. When they got a problem with their mom, they went and they hung out there until mommy would let them back in the house. And now you find that because of whatever the issue may be, they are attacking this one and this one is attacking that one. So we are finding that it's going to be a significant challenge for us to be able to see how we could break the gang problem, to be able to cause the young men especially to be able to communicate properly. You know, if you listen to the average young person, they're like, I ain't gonna run on, I ain't for that. That's the level of the conversation.
You ain't saying that right.
You know?
No dread. That's what they say.
You know, so...
And then you got some 5-pound words in there too.
Exactly, some expletives. And that's the problem is, because of the challenges with communication, then it goes along with they get angry because you don't understand them, or you disrespecting them when you question what they're saying. And that's why it's a good thing that you have Brother Lavarity and Conyers, those who are starting the Gentlemen's Club in the area, where they have 150 young boys.
Let's hear about that, Brother Lavarity, because discipline, conflict resolution, and those kinds of things are so very, very important for our young men.
And I agree with you, Mr. Miller. Discipline is always the order of the day. Discipline is the foundation of once he gets that discipline, he will tend to go on. That's why we seek to have that program. That in that program, we seek to speak with young boys and females is going to be a part of that, to let them understand the foundation of discipline. Once you have manners and respect, that can take you anywhere. Like they say, once you was brought up the right way, you may stray, but then you will stray right back to what you will know, which is discipline. And through that program, we tend to target all the young men and young ladies in Yellow Elder. Like Mr. Ingram alluded. See, in Yellow Elder, first you have to, in order to get into an area and help them, you have to know what the concerns are. Like I say, I've been living in Yellow Elder now for some 31 years. So I had an idea of just about every problem that is going on in Yellow Elder. So as a result of this, the program was founded some 5 years ago by Trevor Brown. We then tackle all the different problems such as social aspect, because they are major problems. Because you are lacking certain things, that tends you to lash out to do other things. So if we can tackle the problem from the root, then we can try to nip it in the bud before it becomes a problem. So through these programs such as the scholarship program, where we would issue scholarship to young person who wants to further their education but is unfortunate. Then we have a social service program where young females who may have got pregnant at a young age and they needed some type of guidance, we have a parental program. And through those same small programs, it's amazing that what you can accomplish, because some persons, just like Mr. Ingram alluded, just need hope. And as long as you believe that hope is there, that's a start. You may not be able to reach everybody, but each one teach one, and then once it continues on, then you'll see the transformation in that area.
Ruben Raming, what can you add to
But it is amazing because in listening to him and the spirit in which we take to in developing these communities throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, it's almost fitting an analogy that was dropping in my spirit as I was listening to Tony Olivardi and the great work that he is doing. And the picture came to mind as a young man sitting on a well, praying to God for food and drink. And he's underneath a breadfruit tree next to a cassava plant. But in his mind, he's anticipating the processed food because that's what he's used to, not even the good stuff. And people need to realize that the help and hope that they're looking to have, most of the time, the trigger for it is birth in them doing it first to somebody else. And the community spirit is to show that everybody, that even in the midst of where you are, you can help somebody and bring them light. We get joy from the fact that when you do and you see something spurs within somebody, it's like a parent. You give your last just to see your child walk down that aisle. They get the degree, they get the credit, but mom and dad have the joy of seeing their success. Yellow Elder is unique, Mr. Miller, also in our approach because we want to protect the children. And because of the high per capita rate of the incidences of negative crime in that area, we're very, very concerned. We must understand the demographics of our communities, very much so. And we must build relationships so you can speak to them on the level that you need to. For example, in that same area, if we understand the negative crime problems associated, they're surrounded with like a 4-square wall with less than a mile radius. GHS, how much is that? 1,200 students. CW, sorry, how much is that? About 800 students. AF Alley, how much that is? Another 1,200 students. Yellow Elder, how much that is? Another 800 students. And we're not throwing in Ridgeland Primary, which is just a stone throw away across the waters. We're not throwing in those guys. We're not throwing in the old Central City School, which is right around the corner. We're just staying within that area. So here it is now. Can you picture the African experience, the Serengeti Plains, where they have the migration of the wildebeest, thousands of them, and lions just crouch on the edge because they know the migration. What am I saying? We know 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., those children will be migrating through. We know 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., them children are migrating through. It is very, very important that we bring the level of community that we hope to see in that community back to where it needs to be. We noticed things in the community that was very, very concerning because we began to, you see patterns, you see trends. And Mr. Collin alluded to it as well, and we were there with Mr. Conyers. Not only in some of the instances that we saw where the persons would have been killed. We saw, again, that same pattern, which was a pattern because it repeated itself about 3 times. Persons came and destroyed the house. Right after that, they destroyed their lives. Then they burn down the houses. They destroy their lives, then they burn down the houses. Then we see things that are very disconcerting, and this goes to our governmental corporation. Now I'm speaking on behalf of the community, to water and sewage. To stop this practice, Mr. Miller. You know the park right by the roundabout where Robertson Road ends. There's a park in Yellow Elder, little wall right on the main Blue Road. When you look, there's a beautiful wall, and you can see the tops of a beautiful swings and stuff, and gazebo. But the reality is behind that wall, there's a fire hydrant. And literally 3 to 4 times a week, they come and flood the park. They purge whatever systems they do, flood the park, and the park is really a wasteland and a hazard. And the communities can constantly complain about that. And we're going to go there and address it again. That we put in reports over and over to please stop doing it. A 300-foot hose could run it right to the back of Yellow Elder and actually drain the pond appropriately. Then we noticed, Mr. Miller, the reason why Yellow Elder has been a magnet for the deviant behaviors is had less to do in its genesis with the nature of the people, but more so the geographical structure. We know that the BC high wire line, tension lines run straight through that community. And you know what that did, Mr. Miller? That create a maze where persons could go a labyrinth and hide. So you can steal a car, drive down those open lots behind houses, hide a car in the bush, spray paint it, and you see your car in an hour and didn't realize that was your car because an hour ago it was blue, now it's green. And people use them for dumping. So there are a lot of things that we may not even have opportunity to express that we're addressing because there are triggers for crime, opportunities for crime in that regard. But I'm glad to say, Mr. Miller, I am glad to say that there is a strong remnant in Yellow Elder. We see it in Mr. Collins. We see it again in Mr. Lavarty. We see it in the churches. And they're rising up and they're coming out. They're coming out of their walls. And they're breathing in the level of hope and energy. And what I'm excited about, most of all, is that looking at this event, this is not a one-off event. Because now, as Mr. Collins said, all the NGOs, the organizations are now working together. So now they are breathing on each other plans and they're strengthening each other plans. And even though we're focusing on bringing this event to close on Saturday, already they are partnershiping on their calendar for the rest of the year. And you know why? Because he lives. The spirit of life, influence, drive. And this is what we want to bring to the Yellow Elder community.
Okay, we're going to take a... Can we go to the news break? Okay. And I guess we're going to invite you to stay for a few more minutes to crystallize what's going on and to put a wrap on it. This is Darold Miller Live. We'll be back right after this break. Welcome back to Darold Miller Live here on the ZNS Radio and Television Networks. I'm all smiles. My big brother is here. Yeah, he's in town for a couple of days, and I would be remiss if I didn't have him to stop by. My big brother, Oscar Miller, who is the sports editor for the Philadelphia Inquirer. Oscar, thank you for stopping by. I know you're on vacation. You didn't expect to be in the studios, but you can't come in Nassau, and I'm on, and you don't stop by.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, Daryl. You've been after me for a long time to appear on your show, and I've always had a convenient excuse not to show up. But I'm taking you up on your offer, so I'm happy to be here and happy to be home.
Yeah. Mom brought you up, and I'm happy to see you and her bonding.
Right, absolutely. Mom is like my best friend. So are you and all my other brothers and sisters. Daryl, let me say that I really want to commend you on doing really an excellent job with this show. I really think that you bring issues to light and you keep these issues in sort of a public discourse, and you ought to be commended for the work you do. You know, somebody once said that a good journalist or journalism is to comfort the afflicted and to afflict the comfortable. So I think what your show does to some extent is to give voice to people who otherwise won't have the opportunity to express themselves and talk about the issues of the day. So I think you do an outstanding job. This is a public service for the entire country, and you ought to be commended for that.
Thank you. Can you repeat? Those are words of wisdom, Oscar. Can you repeat that?
I think
to inflict what?
A famous journalist said this, and I've always remembered it. A good journalist is one who comfort the afflicted and
comfort
the afflicted.
That's with an A. Comfort the afflicted.
Afflicted, that's correct.
Uh-huh.
And afflict the comfortable.
And afflict, A again.
The comfortable.
The comfortable.
And
which means bring comfort to those who are troubled, and those who are too comfortable upset them.
Exactly. That is correct. That is your mission.
Or shake them up.
Exactly. And so that in essence means that you do shine a light in places, whether it's in politics, whether it's tourism, whether it's in crime. I think you're touching on that topic today. I think you sort of touch a tender nerve when you talk to those who are comfortable, and you shine a light on them. And then those who are voiceless, I think you give them a forum or a platform to bring their issues and hear from them. So in a nutshell, that's what you do, and that's what any good journalist or any good journalism program should do.
It's not about me, it's about you for these next 2 minutes or so.
Okay.
Tell us about your role in the United States. The Philadelphia Inquirer is one of the leading newspapers of the world.
That is correct. I think the paper has won 19 Pulitzer Prizes, and I'm sure your listening audience would know what that is. It's the highest honor in journalism. Just briefly, something about myself, Darold. I need not repeat this to you, but for your audience, I'm the second of 5 children, and you were my little brother, and I always had to keep you in line. In 1969, I went off to college, and this school is probably familiar to a lot of Bahamians. That's Florida Memorial College in Miami. I did a bachelor's degree in English, and then I went on to the University of Florida and got a master's in journalism. I then worked in Daytona Beach for about 10 or 11 years and then moved to Philadelphia, which, like as you said, Darold, it's a major market. It's one of the major newspapers in the country. Now, having said that, I should be remiss if I don't say that newspapers are really going through a very difficult time now. So we feel it's incumbent on us not to reinvent the wheel, but to find our niche and try to keep our market share in terms of how newspapers can be relevant to readers. The technology is moving at such a breathtaking pace that suddenly we are left behind, and we feel like we're in the dark ages because of the mobile devices and the internet. There are many ways to get the news, but it's a challenge to us in print journalism to find a way to be relevant to our readers. So that's part of my job.
Are you saying that the Philadelphia Inquirer and other big papers may become dinosaurs?
Could very well be. I think it's we got lost. I wouldn't say we lost our way, but I think we need to find new ways to be more relevant. Like I said, I'm not sure we will become a dinosaur. Maybe our niche will be to analyze news and to interpret it, rather than exactly what happened yesterday or what happened every minute of the day. We perhaps will have to take a step back and be more interpretive and more analytical in our stories. So there is a market for that. There is room for that. But I think newspapers as such, where we were all things to all people, those days are over.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. The internet today is just taking over.
Right.
And technology, and you were talking about everybody goes to the apps and the phones for the news these days.
Right.
So you have to keep pace.
Exactly. And most newspapers, as you very well know, Darold, they do have a website. So the content on the website is basically the same as what's in the newspaper. So having a newspaper is still critical because those are still the people, the reporters are the ones who have their boots on the ground. They go into communities and they sort of are close to how people live their everyday lives. And we still need those people to write those stories. Now, whether that news is consumed through the print media or through the internet or some other means, it's still important that we have people such as yourself who actually know how to live and move and hear people's issues and concerns. And that form of reporting or journalism will never go away. The delivery system might be different, but what we do in terms of digging deep, finding stories, shedding light on issues, I think those things will always be what we do.
For those who don't know, you attended Baptist
I went to
Bible
Bahamas Baptist High.
Bahamas Baptist.
It was a small school. I think it was on Madera Street. I want everybody to know that I wanted to go to government high school, like you and my brother Philip did. But Bahamas Baptist High was a religious-oriented school. I think it was a branch of the old Jordan High School at Prince William, right? Mm-hmm. So in a sense, that was a good education for me. I was really grounded.
So you would know the Reverend William Thompson, who was the executive chairman here at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
I might. It's very possible. That name does not ring a bell just right off.
You've been away for so long.
almost 42 years. It's a long time.
Wow.
And I know the question you're going to ask me.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I promise I'm not going there. Welcome back home. I hope you have a great time. And I know you and Mom gonna spend a lot of time together.
Yeah. Dallas, let me say that every time I come back home, I'm just amazed at the transformation in which this country is undergoing. There's the buildings and people seem to have a sense of confidence, and we still depend on tourism as a means in survival. But this country should be proud of. And I live in the States. I've been away for 42 years, but I see myself really as an ambassador for the Bahamas. Wherever I go, and I could give people a sense of who I am and what I think it says something about us as a people. I think we all have strong character as a country. And so those of us who are no longer living here, we're still spreading the news of what the Bahamas is all about.
Can you remove your cap for a minute, Oscar? I see why. You're balding. Put it back on.
I am in my early 60s, Darold, so I'm not like you. Still have a head full of hair.
And for the ladies, yes, he is a little bit more handsome than I am, but he's married. He's taken. Right?
Well, yes. Let's leave it at that.
Okay.
Right.
Big bro, good to have you, man.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And
I wish you all the best in your show, and I think you do, again, valuable work. And you're groundbreaking in many ways. I think you're a pioneer in this business. You're always striving to do more and using the tools and the resources available to you to push your show to new boundaries. So that's good.
it is not easy. And it's simple. Just keep working. But it's not easy.
Yep.
And in that respect, I got to thank my assistant, Mandeline Thompson, who assists in so many ways, and the great staff here at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, of course, family and friends. My good friends, Frank Hanna, Sidney Sinclair, Elon Moxie, who I have to pick up from the airport in a few minutes. He's doing the birthday celebration for Sir Lyndon Pinling tonight at the Sapadilla restaurant. Now it's time for Mandy's Minutes. This is a segment that we have started, and every Friday around this time, Mandeline Thompson of Palmetto Point, Eleuthera, selects someone or some people who are deserving for their acts of kindness and humility. Who do we have? I'm pulling for you know who I'm pulling for. I'm pulling for Colin Ingram. Did you see him earlier? He's the one who was so gung-ho about going into the Yellow Elder community and keeping things alive and bringing passion. Can you give him some minutes, Mandy?
We could probably do a little something for Mr. Ingram, but even if he doesn't get the minutes, even if he doesn't get the minutes, the recognition for the work that he's doing, I still want to commend him for the work that he's doing and encourage him to continue doing the work that he's doing, because he's uplifting so many people in so many different areas. So even though Mandy's Minutes may not be focused on Mr. Colin Ingram, I still want to take the time to encourage him for the good work that he's doing here in the Bahamas, because a lot of people, I think, is benefiting and will benefit from the work that him and his team is doing in the Bahamas and the surrounding areas.
So who gets the Mandy's Minutes?
Okay, Mandy's Minutes goes to, I guess I'll have to share this little story with the viewers and everyone else. There's this guy at Partis Key Dock. He's probably in his early 40s, and he is presently unemployed, but what is so admirable about him is he doesn't just sit home every day and complain. Even though he's not employed with the various boats that are docked at Partis Key Dock, he still gets up every single day and he makes his way out to Partis Key Dock, and he's there to assist the people that comes there to to put their goods on the boat to send to the various islands. And me myself personally, I don't even make an effort to look for tape or to tape up my boxes or to even carry a marker because I know that he has all of that stuff handy. So I just want to take the time to recognize him for the work that he's doing. And in comparison to him, there was this younger gentleman the other day at the mall, and he's probably 19 years old, and there he was, healthy, strapping young man, and there he is, he's asking people to assist him where he can. There's so many resources out there. He can just go and get himself a job. A young man, and now I'm comparing him to this guy who's in his early 40s, and he doesn't let his situation bring him down. Instead, he gets up every day. Like, I admire his courage. Like, he doesn't stay down. He gets up.
So he's not looking for a handout.
No, he's not looking for a handout. But of course, I tip him in everything because of what he does. And I have to stress this: he is not employed with any of the boats that are there, but he's there.
He's self-employed, so to speak.
Exactly. He is self-employed, so he's there every day trying to make an honest living. And even what's also admirable about him is his spirit. Like, he doesn't let his situation and his circumstances determine or affect his day. He's still there. He's busy. He's moving back and forth. And he's happy. He may not have much compared to others, but he's still humble and he's happy. With the little that he has, he's happy. And he's making, do with the little that he has. Mm-hmm. So I find that remarkable and phenomenal of what he's doing, because we have so many things. But, we take so many things for granted, and then we look at other people and their situations. And me personally, I sit down and I begin to evaluate and think. And I said, oh, my goodness, we have so many things to be thankful for. It's so many people who have we may be complaining about stuff that is meaningless. But we have people, in this country who have so much less than us, but they are so happy. And that's what's so admirable about him. He's happy. He's out there. He's making an honest living.
And he's making some good money, too. You tip him.
Yes, I do. He's making an honest living. And, he's making do with the little that he has. And he's happy. And he exudes
So he doesn't say, let me tape your box up for $10.
No.
He just tapes it up.
He does, and at first
he puts it on the boat.
Yes, at first I thought he's so helpful. I thought he was actually an employee of the boat, but when I found that, I was like, I couldn't believe it. Like, he's there, and he comes. I don't even have to tell him anything, and he comes and he tapes up the box. He has the marker there. Like I said earlier, I don't even bother to even bring tape from home or look for tape, because I know that's my little friend there. He has all of his equipment ready and waiting for the people that comes, and he's not just stationed at one area. He moves around to different boats that are docked at Potter's Key Dock. So what's great about him is he's trying to make an honest living, and he's not letting his situation bring him down. He's still going out there. He's still pushing, and he's still fighting for a better life. So that's why I think he needs to be recognized today, and that's what I'm going to give my man these minutes.
So you have to go to the dock to him?
Yes, I will go to the dock to him. I have no problem with that.
What if he doesn't have a phone?
He can still have the card. He can give this. Maybe he has kids. He can give this. The minutes he can take them and do whatever he wishes to do with them. He could probably have a wife or a fiance or kids that he can give. Young people have cell phones. So, yeah, he can give them to his
Or
kids.
he can sell it too?
He can sell it, like I said. Whatever he chooses to do with his minutes is his thing. Once we just give that to him, he can do whatever he wishes to do with his minutes.
Okay, our Mandy's Minutes segment is sponsored by one of our major sponsors, the 17 Shop.
Yes.
And Mandy is brilliantly dressed today in something from the 17 Shop.
And
thanks.
I would like to thank the ladies down there, Miss Meeker and Miss Conacle, who's very so helpful. Every time I goes there, she comes to me. She helps me out with everything. And Miss Meeker and Mr. Peter and all the ladies and gentlemen down there at the 17 Shop, a very special thank you to them. And Shoe Creation as well, one of our newest sponsors, the Shoe Creation, a very special thank you to you. And Mr. Michael Bethel at Maiden's Wholesale, a very special thank you to you as well.
That's who you get the minutes from?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You should know Michael Bethel.
Probably do. That's again, sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Things, as I age, I have more senior moments than I care to admit. I do remember names and places, and so they tend to escape me.
You know Eleuthera, though.
Yes, very well.
If you get an opportunity next year or later in the year to come back to the Bahamas, you should take a trip to Eleuthera. It's home to two of the wonders of the world. Maybe more than two. One for sure is the Glass Window Bridge, where the rough of the ocean meets the calm of the sea. And then there is Harbor Island that you know, with its pink sand. I think that's a wonder of the world too. Don't you think so, Mandy?
Yes, indeed.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will be rejoined, I believe, by the Community Rush Because He Lives and representatives of the Yellow Elder Mount Moriah spring cleaning, community, and fellowship events. This is Darold Miller Live. We'll be back right after these messages. I'm back to Darold Miller Live here on the ZNS radio and television networks. We also streaming to the world at www.znsbahamas.com. Mandy is posting right now on our Facebook page, Darold Miller Live. We have that link on Facebook now where you can watch the show live on your smartphone. I think even the bubblers get them too. So, no, only the smartphone. So wherever you go, folks, you can watch and listen to Darold Miller Live. Thanks to our audience in the Turks and Caicos. They are also able to watch us live in Smokies or anywhere in Turtle Cove, anywhere along the Leeward Highway. Speaking of highway, if you're driving down I-95, you can also hear us on the radio. And we are launching our new website today. That's DaroldMillerLive.com. www.DaroldMillerLive.com. That's going to be launched today. Speaking of today, this is the last day, folks. You have until midnight to log on to ownyourbahamas.com and apply for the grant funding, free money from Own Bahamas, which is a foundation of IL Cares, Island Luck. The CEO, Sebastian, contacted us this morning to let us know that there are about 800 applications thus far. He thought there should be another 200 coming in by midnight, so that would make about 1,000 applicants who will be seeking the funding that's available in this tranche. He's going to do 3 tranches per year. In this first tranche, there will be 10 winners. 2 top winners will each get $25,000, a trip to the Canton Fair in Guangzhou, China, where you see the latest in technology in your area, 2 years free advertising, 2 years free internet, 2 years free phone, plus a small business development course in the College of the Bahamas, plus I also think you can get some office space in the industrial center as well. That has not been advertised, but I believe you can. So go online. If you don't have access to a computer, go into the Island Luck web shop. Not necessarily to gamble or buy no numbers. Just go online. ownyourbahamas.com. Apply online. You can upload the information they want online right there. Use your smartphone or scanner or whatever if you gotta get some stuff up to the Own Your Bahamas website. That's one of the best things I've heard. The top 2 people get $25,000 each, and the other 8, $5,000 each. It's like a grant starter for businesses. And then they're going to do it again in July, and then again in October. Close to $1 million a year. That's one of the best things I have ever heard, folks. So you don't want to miss this opportunity. When I went on that break, I did notice it got extremely dark outside. And that's because there is a severe weather warning now in effect. In effect until 2:10 this afternoon. Air traffic reported a funnel cloud near our southern shoreline. And while there's little to no precipitation associated with this system at this time, residents are being asked to remain vigilant and to seek refuge indoors upon seeing any funnel clouds or if the weather conditions worsen. So stay inside. Don't go under no tree if you see a funnel cloud. That's the worst thing to do. Because the funnel cloud's going to unleash water, and water could be a conductor for lightning. So you don't want to go under a tree. This is from the Bahamas Department of Meteorology. A severe weather warning in effect from now until 2:10 because a funnel cloud has been reported on the southern shoreline of New Providence. That's why even, like I say, when I went outside, Margaret, it was dark and gloomy. And so this is very, very important. Don't seek shelter under any trees. God forbid. We don't need any casualties. I imagine it's dark in Yellow Elder too, if it's dark up here. And so we're going to say a special appeal to your good folks in that area, Colin. By the way, you didn't get the minutes, eh? Mandy recognized you for the great works that you are doing, but she chose to give the minutes to someone else who, rather than beg for $1, goes to the Potter's Key Dock and provides a service of assisting customers with their boxes and the rest of it, taping them up. He's got the marker and the tape so that when you go and put it on the mail boat, it's all ready. And that's
support that.
That's
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Ruben, you go ahead.
No, we support that, Darold. That's that kind of entrepreneurial spirit that I think is deep inside of all of us. Mandy, we commend you because you're not an enabler, you're an empowerer. and you know, yes, because it's easy to, we love the passion of Colin as endorsed by Darold Miller. We feel it, but you just showed a level of maturity that even took it to another level. If we could do that in our community more, I think we see the greatness in the Bahamian. That we hear our national anthem, you know. Our national anthem is a powerful song, you know. You really listen to that. The world's supposed to mark the manner, take note of it, even
of
mark
our bearing.
Of our bearing, you know.
Meaning,
we make a pledge.
Meaning that's the discipline you were talking about earlier.
Yes. You know, we make a pledge to excel. And we miss it through love and unity. That's the spirit of what we're doing in Yellow Elder. You know, we are special people, you know, Darold.
Yes.
And I that's why I can appreciate the pride in which you represent your country, you represent yourself. It's our uniqueness. You know what brought me pride? We did this in faith and hope. We were invigorated by the commitment we found on the ground. We knew it was there. Before we saw it, we knew it was there. And in Colin Cares and Lararity and Scrap Knowles, Eric Scrap Knowles, and also and the Conyers and the association. We knew it. And we knew, like they said, and you like baseball, if we build it, they would come. But not only they will own it. And we want to thank so much the persons that are out there that have come up and support. And we know a lot of persons hearing your voice, because you are a great influence, will know that and feel the urge to want to help. And we want to let them know that the door is still open. It's never too late. There will be thousands of people that we expect to be out there. We'll be feeding them. And we had persons that came on board, like the Blue Hill Meat Man, heard and said, listen, we want to be a part of this. We obviously have persons that are organizations such as the Urban Renewal. We have the full support of ASAP Linda Moxie from the Grove Police Station. She was so kind. She called this morning and with all of her top officers and said, let's make sure we get this right. And they're going to be out there in full force supporting us. We have the Caribbean Bottling Company say, hey, we want to help. We want to jump on board. Impact Waste Management, Bahamas Limited. The environmental health is also a tremendous part of the overall thing. Bahamas
Let me
Management.
just interject here. For those who may not have been listening in the first portion of our show, what Ruben Ramming is talking about is these community and fellowship events that begin tomorrow.
Yes.
In Yellow
Elder.
Proper. Yes. Go ahead.
Precisely. And it's going to start from early 7 a.m. And we started to speak to all the person. One of the churches we will meet at is the Church of Christ, starting at 7 a.m. We're going to have the full support of the Church of the Most Holy Trinity, the Antioch Baptist Church, the Harold Road Union Baptist Church, and that's basically all the churches that are centered around that community. They will be there. But when we meet at the Church of Christ at 7 in the morning to start the walkabout and the cleanup that will go throughout, you are all invited to be a part. We will have the support of Urban Renewal, Mother Pratt, Angela Island. We expect the Honorable Glenn Martin, and definitely our founder and our leader, the Reverend Dr. William Thompson. They'll be a part doing a special segment of the walkabout during all this activity starting from 8 a.m. We invite you also to come out and be a part of that. We have persons outside the community, Darold. We have students coming from Catherine in Fox Hill, the Kiwanis Club Division 22, the Kiwanis Club of Fox Hill also coming. We have children coming out of Angliston that is going to be coming into there to also help and lend a hand. Persons from even St. Paul's Baptist Church also in Fox Hill. BTC, well, you know BTC, if it's a proven, incredible community event, their heart is always in it. And BTC has also come in and to lend a hand in that regard. And so we have a cadre of persons that are coming on board. We've even had persons who just call and say, no, you guys need macaroni, we're going to bake it, we're going to bring it out there to serve. After the cleanup at 3 p.m., we'll come together at the C.W. Sawyer School for our community rush out. And if you don't have your cowbells, throw some stones in the can, and we're going to shake that together, and we're going to have our community rush out leading to the Tom the Birds Park. The Urban Renewal Marching Band will also be participating in this event as well. When we arrive at the park at 5 p.m. sharp, and the park is located right next to A.F. Adley School, we will start our memorial service where we pay homage to the community, bring about a spirit of healing. The religious leaders, and it will be moderated and chaired by Colin Cares, the Association, Yellow Association, and we will bring the community together in a time of reflection, a time of healing, a time of commemoration, a time of healing. Yes, and when that time has, we allot 2 hours for that. And at 7 p.m. we'll have the open grill and chill, which will start from then until. But I want you to know that even the kids, once you come through the community rush, there'll be ice cream, refreshments for the kids and for everybody else. Free food, free participation. Christian Massive is also participating in that. And we're going to have great entertainment, praise and worship, great music, great opportunity for fellowship there. All happening starting tomorrow morning. Yellow Elder, Mount Moriah, Stapleton, as far from Town Center Mall all the way to Christie Avenue. We're touching all of that, Darold, and we're going to make an impact.
Excellent. Very good. That brings us to the end of our program. We want to thank you all so very, very much. Colin Ingram.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Antonio Lavardi.
Thank you so much. for
Thank
having
you
us.
so very, very much. And Ruben Raming, I see why they have you as the public relations man. You could talk, boy. You ever thought about politics?
Plenty of people have been thinking about it around me. I'm a little too I'm a little bit too
They've been
conservative
thinking
with
for
it.
you?
They've been thinking for me. They've been thinking for me.
Yeah. I think you'll do well.
Thank you, Daryl.
Yeah, I think you have passion, as does Colin. But Colin, you don't want to enter politics.
They're
Maybe.
probably thinking too, huh?
Maybe, he says. Well, Antonio, I know where your heart is. Your heart is where the people are, in the belly of the community. Good job. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller.
Thank you very
Special
much.
thanks to Mandy for Mandy's Minutes. Thank you very, very much. She's still in there. Boy talk about working. Special thanks to our good friends who have sponsored our shows, and special thanks to Kendrick Hepburn over at Shoe Creation. Thank you, sir. Special thanks to the 17 Shop, K.S. Moses, Maiden's Wholesale, Furniture Haven, Window World, Easy Car Sales, Auto H&L, BTC, Fidelity Bank. I want to send a shout out to my good friend John McCarty over at Villa Alamanda, and to Brother Kirby at Leo Rose, the Dream Rentals, right on the waterfront in James Siston. Special thanks to everybody. Frank Hanna. I'm going to the Vine Cafe, and then from there I'm going to pick up Elon Moxie. We going to Celindon's 85th birthday party tonight at Zapadilla. Divine Cafe, here I come. God willing, I'll be back Monday with another lively, provocative Darold Miller Live.